What's up guys, I'm Josh Mosman from Motocross Action Magazine, and in this video we are testing a full built KTM 150 two-stroke. I'm very excited to ride this bike. It was built by Jim Haeseker for Pasha. Now Pasha has one of three bikes in a three-bike KTM 150 shootout that we have, and it's a pretty unique shootout because we have Pasha sponsors all on this bike. He set a specific list of parameters and he gave 3 engines to 3 different engine builders. Go all out with this KTM 150 engine because you're going head-to-head against 2 other guys in an MXA 150 KTM two-stroke shootout. So this bike is built by Jim Haeseker. Pasha, you guys might recognize the name because he is the guy who's pushing two-strokes here in Southern California, putting up thousands of dollars of his own money to get guys like Mike Alessi and other top pros from Southern California to buy KTM or Yamaha 150s, build them all out, and go racing at Glen Helen for some good money. This video, we're gonna be riding and testing this Jim Haeseker built KTM 150 two-stroke. Jim doesn't come out of Northern California very often, but we got him to fly down just for this shoot. We got Paris Raceway rented all to ourselves today. Jim, what are some of the parameters that Pasha gave you, and what was it like when he came to you about this idea?
Pasha came up, I want you to build me a motor because he wanted one of our setups. Gave us the parameters of the FMF exhaust, the Electron, his fuel, go crazy on the other end. With the experience we have with Stank Dog and building his motors and stuff like that, me and Al Posey set up together on that 125 setup for the 150 and getting the best kind of overall powered setup for the bike without turning it into a hand grenade or anything else like that. Put it together and see what it does.
So we got a specific list of parameters like he mentioned. We got the Billetron carburetor, FMF pipe and silencer. We got the Sunoco fuel. They got the same Recluse torque drive clutch and the same gear ratio on this bike as the other 3 bikes that we're putting it up against. Jim's got a lot of experience building Jared Stanky's bikes, and we all know that Stank Dog has been very impressive at the Nationals and in Supercross on 125 two-strokes. So now you're taking that same experience. And how long have you been building two-stroke engines?
We've been doing it since about 08.
Are you excited to put this bike head-to-head with some other bikes today?
Well, let's see how it plays out.
So this video, we're gonna break apart this KTM 150 built by Jim Haeseker, and stay tuned for more on the full shootout with all 3 bikes together. Jim Haeseker flew down from Northern California today just to be with us, and it was well worth it. I'm thankful that he came down here. This KTM 150 behind me is all orange, orange frame, orange plastics, and all orange graphics. Pasha is unusual. He didn't let Factory Effects design any cool designs or put any cool numbers on the front. He's got L7 on the front of the bike and blank numbers with Factory Effects, just put blank stickers on the bike. But honestly, it looks clean and it's a great looking bike. Today, we put it head to head with Terry Varner's KTM 150 and with Twisted Development's KTM 150. You'll have to stay tuned for the shootout video with that. But I will tell you guys that we had a lot of fun riding this Haeseker built KTM 150 today. It's a very exotic looking bike and an extremely fast motorcycle on the track. Everybody who's a fan of Supercross and Motocross, you guys know and you've heard of Jared Stanky or Stank Dog. Jared Stanky loves racing, and that he loves racing on two strokes, pushing for premix and representing and flying that flag at the Supercross races and at the Nationals. And now I can understand just a little bit of how Jared Stanky is able to go so fast on his 125 because he has Jim Haeseker building his engines. This thing was a rever on the track. I will tell you guys, it didn't pick up as strong on the bottom end, but man, once you got into that mid-range and to the top end of the power, this thing took off. So talking to Jim Haeseker, when Stanky is racing Supercross and Motocross on 125s, he can't race a 150. He has to ride a 125 two-stroke. And if you guys read Motocross Action Magazine, or if you watch our videos, when we compare the KTM 125 and the KTM 150, we always say that the 150 is a harder motorcycle to ride. The power window is smaller. It is a faster motorcycle, bigger displacement, more horsepower, more torque. In general, our slower test riders, our vets, our novices, and sometimes even our intermediates, they go faster on a KTM 125, even though it's not as fast of a motorcycle. Overall peak horsepower, it fills in that bottom mid-range, and it's just overall easier to ride. So Haeseker has more experience with 125 engines, and I could honestly tell just a little bit today because it was lacking just a little bit in the bottom end. Started out with the power valve one turn out. As you guys know, KTM has an adjustable power valve. By closing the power valve off, it made it stay closed longer coming out of the corners, and they made it easier to ride, easier to just get into the second gear, get into third gear, get into fourth gear, filled in that bottom part that I was struggling with a little bit at the beginning of the day. So overall, this Haeseker built KTM 150 engine for Pasha, extremely fast, pulls strong in the top end. As for the suspension, N2 Dirt set this up for Pasha, and Pasha said he wanted pro level rider, 190 pounds for the 3 different bikes that we rode today. But N2 Dirt, he knows Pasha, and he knows that Pasha is going to be racing this bike, and I think he set the suspension up more towards what Pasha would need, because the suspension was definitely soft today. Way too soft for me. I'm 170, but I'm going a little bit faster than Pasha is. He also has the neck-in triple clamps on here with the Flex bar mounts, and then also has the Flex handlebars from Fast Company. These are all things that are great for a vet rider like Pasha, a little bit too flexible for pro riders like myself and like Brian Medeiros, who you guys will see. If you guys notice on this video how the first test rider was wearing black Fast House gear, but he was a lot shorter, and the second test rider was wearing my gear that I'm wearing today and was a lot taller. It happened. Brian Medeiros tucked the front end and tweaked his knee. He's had knee problems in the past. He blew out an ACL, and he's been riding with it anyways, and today re-injured it. Brian, thanks for sending it for Travis Fant's cameras. Thanks for going for it. He was throwing some massive whips on this thing today, but I had to fill in for the second half of the video, so that's where the height difference comes in to play here today. Overall, lots of fun riding this Haeseker built KTM 150 from Pasha. Pasha's got 3 KTM 150s. We're putting them head to head for a 150 shootout. Lots of exotic parts on these builds, and all of the parameters are the same as I mentioned at the top of the video. So this is the first test out of 3. We're gonna have 3 videos on each bike individually, and then we're gonna put them head to head for a 3-bike KTM 150 shootout. Thank you guys for tuning in to this video. Keep an eye out for next video coming up, and it's going to be the Twisted Development KTM 150 for Pasha. Looking forward towards that one, and excited to share with you guys the lap time results and the full shootout video in a couple weeks.